everybody, and welcome to our Big Brother Canada Week 8 exit interview with Renee. We have so much to get to in this interview, but first, let me let you guys know wherever you are following, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You guys following on those platforms, hitting the thumbs up and the bell, commenting below on YouTube. Those are all great free ways to help support the shows, as is sharing. It is caring, so tell a friend, tell a family member, make a clip, tag us in it. You guys are our best marketers and what keeps these shows going. Now, of course, you know that these questions come from all of you, so if you have questions for the Final Four, keep them coming in right now. Leave it on a post on our Instagram or our Twitter at Reality Recaps, or put it in our Discord community, yourrealityrecaps.com/Discord. That is where we watch the dailies every night around 11 p.m. Eastern. We watch the Eastern airing of the Big Brother shows right there. So no weird VPNs or sketchy websites. It's all easy for you guys to do there. Of course, people are asking if we're covering Big Brother 24. Yes, we are. Or 25. What? Our US Big Brother, of course, we're going to be covering that with daily coverage, live feed updates, and more. You can see the past 12 years of Big Brother content, as well as Survivor, Drag Race, Bravo shows, and more over on our website, yourrealityrecaps.com. But I know why you guys are here, and it is to hear from Renee. So, Renee, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am great. Okay, so serious question. Was it harder to campaign to tie or to push the pool room door open?
You're coming for me right now. Oh my goodness, right off the bat, I love it. You know what? It was definitely campaigning to tie. However, that library door was not budging. Let me tell you, I put my whole heart and soul into it. I said, girly pops, push! And nothing happened. So they were both equally difficult, but tie is way more stubborn than that door, let me tell you.
So seriously, let's talk about your relationship with Ty. Were you in an alliance with Claudia and him?
Yeah, I think following that double, Ty pulling his move, he was really pushing for the fact that, listen, I couldn't get through to Nene, but I really saw this going to the end. I think he's told me from the night of like that scream situation where we got woken up in the middle of the night, we were literally up later than everybody in the pool room talking about it, and he wanted to make this final two, and he was really adamant on working together until the final two. So I did see the final three that we made as something that was legit. However, Ty has always been a very interesting one working game-wise with him, because I think he has reached out multiple times to work together. However, I always felt like I was his second best. So for me to be able to be put number one for Ty, I felt like I needed to knock the people out around him. So again, this was another one of those situations. I always felt like I might be very disposable to him, and it showed this week.
Okay, do you think keeping being a law student secret to the end of the game helped or hurt you in it?
I think it definitely helped me. I think if there's one thing I know about the game, is it's okay to keep a thing or two to yourself. I'm obviously very, very proud of being a law student or a future law student going into law school. However, the skills of a lawyer are really looked at, like the argumentation skills, the communication skills. That can be a real threat to people in the game, and also the mental side of it. So I definitely think keeping it secret was the best move for me. I think people weren't expecting me to come through on a mental comp and pull out like that. So I think it was good. It was fun being a fake journalist student for a couple months. So
do you think playing Big Brother will help you be a good lawyer?
I don't know if being in Big Brother will help me be a good lawyer, but I think it put me in positions in public speaking things and communication skills and arguments that were skills I trained as a paralegal prior to switching over into the law school side of things. So I think a lot of the skills that I've developed in law helped me actually in the game, and it helped me practice them in like a fun setting. Fun and stressful setting. I think the amount of stress and things like that and coping with that stress will help me in law for sure. But I definitely think my skills that I had previously in law helped me in the game.
Okay. We saw Shania tell you that you deserve to be there over her. Why do you think she thought that?
First of all, I will say quickly about Nene, she is the most selfless, sweetest human ever. Truthfully, she does not have a bad bone in her body. And when her saying that, I was kind of just standing there stunned because I think she really did see the struggle I've had from the get go. And, she didn't touch the block for a long time. And for a majority of those weeks, I was the one stressing and strategizing behind the scenes. So I think her seeing how far I pushed and even just recently coming off of that HOH win urged her to say that. I don't think she deserved to not be there any less than I did. But her saying that, I know that she was really seeing the game in the way that I was hoping people would see it. So it was a touching moment, but it was a devastating one because I didn't want her to get into that mindset and put herself down.
Why do you feel the girls didn't stick together after coming together during Koozie's HOH?
I think the invisible HOH really threw things off, and also the crown being another alliance that they were really tied to, I think interfered with that. Coming off of Koozie's week and going into the invisible HOH, the fact that they all knew and then they still let me ride out, like all the fingers were pointing at me that week. And if you saw my bid that week, you would understand I was very much not the invisible HOH. So I think that really put me on the fence with them. And then the talks of Koozie potentially targeting me and leaving me out of the fatal feast or having a hand in doing that. It was more of an agreement than it was an alliance when we needed to use it, because we did see the six going far and we almost made it there. But it wasn't something that we were constantly checking in on because of our different positions in the house.
How do you anticipate using your jury vote? Is there any question or questions that you need answered by anyone before you can make your decision?
I haven't started my brainstorming process yet, but I definitely have a lot of thoughts running through my mind for each of the players. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be the most objective person I can. I owe it to the season, the cast, this game, myself, like even being a fan of this whole franchise. I owe it to the finalists to give them a fair shot at being heard from the get-go of this game. I've said I will listen to every single argument. I will consider everything, and I will let the best person win. Whoever can present it more persuasively will ultimately have my vote. But I also want to see certain qualities like resiliency and a little bit of grit and aggressiveness portrayed in that finalist.
If the final two was Claudia and Ty, who would you give your vote to?
It really comes down to that pitch. I think the 60 seconds there is the most important. I will never 100% say someone has my vote over the other. Obviously, I said it a couple times during my HOH. If Ty can make it through to the end, there's a high chance he has my vote because truthfully on paper, the things that he's had to conquer just on his own, if he sat on that block by the end of any of those weeks, he was going home. So the fact that he evaded the block so forcefully and he really pulled himself off almost every single time, I think speaks wonders to what he can do physically. However, I'm really curious to see how he pitches himself as a strategist and a mentalist, and that he says he's such a strong social player and he has a lot of strategy and he's done this and that, but can you really show that at the end? I think will kind of sway my vote.
Who would you have brought to the final two?
I would have brought Ty. I really do I think looking at our games, I was really intrigued to take him for the fact that I do want to be the best. And Koozie kind of left me with that information. Taking out Koozie was a hard one for me because I did want to see her go farther, but the relationship wasn't aligning at the time. She had left me with the information of like, to be the best, you need to beat the best. And I kind of took that with my whole heart moving forward. And I think me and Ty have been in very interesting positions in the game where we were both on the block multiple times, but we fought ourselves off in very, very different ways. And I think that kind of dynamic and contrast really would have been cool to see at the end. And I really think I could have had a strong pitch against him where it could have potentially swayed and beat him. So I think I wasn't scared to take him to that final too.
What stopped you from working with Koozie in the game?
Koozie is truthfully the definition and of a MVP all around great player. Like as a fan watching her do what she was doing, I was like, this is a girl that I need to work with. However, there were so many times she was the first person that stopped the cycle of throwing me up on the block, which I was indebted to her for. But then the couple moves that came after that, where, you know, she wanted Nene not to use the POV and leave me up on the block and just like hope for the best. I don't know if I would have stayed that week, or leaving me out, or having a hand that left me out of the fatal feast. Those were things that I couldn't look past. And by the time she came forward with all this information and this great information, it was after I put her up on the block when I told her, I want one of these two moves, you or Daniel, to leave this week. What do you have for me? I gave her the floor, and I feel like she was still trying to keep her cards close to her chest, and it was too late for me to rebridge something, because then I'd be completely going back on the moves that I wanted to happen on my HOH.
Is there anything fans didn't learn about you that you want them to know?
I hope just like my quirky side and my positive side and my energy, I hope that translated to the screen. I can come off a little bit when you meet me. I'm very like rambly, and I'm very la 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 in my own world. So I hope that they really saw me as a player. I hope they saw the strategy I was putting in. I hope they saw that every single time I stepped out on that challenge floor, even though I felt like there's no way I could win this, I went in there and I was like, I'm going to beat Ty. No, I know I can get toe to toe with him, even if it was a physical comp. So I hope they just see that, my positive energy, the relationships I was able to build, and hopefully they just got something good out of my story, even if it's just like pushing through the tough times.
Where do you want people to follow you on social media?
Oh, can I say that? Or yeah. Sorry, I just gotta check one second. But
Yes, yeah, your social media.
okay. Yeah, so you can follow me, Renee Mior, on Instagram, and I'm actually blanking on all my other socials, but I'll post them on the Insta once we get out of here.
No problem. A final question. Anything you learned about yourself coming out of this experience that you didn't know about yourself before you started playing the game?
I think to cut myself a little bit of slack. I think a lot of time in the game, I was so fixated on proving myself that I never stopped to look at what I did accomplish in the game. So I think, you know, even I knew I was resilient, I knew I was tough, but the things I was put through in there, I think showed a whole new layer of where I'm willing to go and how hard I'm willing to fight to get to the end and to do something meaningful and bigger than myself. So I think I would say that for sure.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Renee.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that about wraps up our interview with Renee. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Remember that you guys following, liking, subscribing, making sure that you're commenting on all of this content, as well as sharing it with a friend, a family member, making a clip, tagging us in it, are great free ways to help support the shows. It is what keeps them going. Of course, we are going to be bringing you, content throughout Big Brother's US season. There's a lot more fun shows coming up. The new Amazon reality TV show, for example, as well as Traders, New Zealand, all stuff like that we watch over in our Discord. So make sure that you join yourrealityrecaps.com/Discord. You can watch the shows right there, chat with us live, all for free, no weird VPNs and all that stuff. We watch movies on the weekends, so make sure that you check it out. Of course, you can see the last 12 years of shows over on our website, yourrealityrecaps.com, as well as our YouTube channel has all of those shows archived too. So make sure you thumbs up, hit the bell, and subscribe over there. I am, of course, live every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern over on younow.com. We Twitch late at night as well. Reality Recaps on Twitch. Use your free Prime over there on Twitch. Another great free way to help support our shows. We are unfortunately not going to Canada this year. Keep supporting our shows, and maybe we will next year if, it works out. So until our next show, I will be live, probably live right now. I'll see you over there. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.